My name is Richard Casper. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I teach the course here at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. This program started basically because after my injuries in war, I didn't know how to deal with myself. I came back, had a brain injury, my best friend was shot and killed. I didn't know myself at that point. Art has helped me by giving me a chance to have a voice again. I used to not be able to leave my house. I couldn't go talk to people. I would physically throw up and get sick. If you could be 0%, that's committing suicide, 100% being the best you can be. After the Marine Corps, after being injured, I was at probably like a 9 or a 10. And after this school, I was back to like 85% me. For people who may struggle like I did and didn't want to break out of the house and be like, I'm not sure if this is going to work, I just want them to know my story and be able to come out here and learn with other combat vets how to do art. And if they're looking for one more way, if they just come out here and give me a chance, it's going to be worth it.
What we were aiming for is to express what we were dealing with, when we were deployed and during our military career, where we literally get out of our element, go on this kind of like alternate reality to go back in time, think about what we went through, and express it to other people.
Just being exposed to different concepts of art, like at the museum and some of the contemporary art we saw, that's what influenced me to try doing a performance piece for my last project.
The opportunity to be at the school was just phenomenal. It was amazing. At lunch, we could go and wander the halls of the museums, and that was pretty awesome.
I think the hardest part was actually talking about what I've been through. It was easy talking to Richard because he is a combat veteran and he has been through stuff I've been through. And
my job was to, go find IEDs or find landmines or anti-personnel landmines and take them apart. And little did I know, I was putting that stuff inside me.
At first, it's a little hard to let yourself become vulnerable. You won't really know what to do right away. It takes a couple days. I know for me, it took a week.
Being surrounded by a bunch of veterans that know what combat feels like, knows the after effects of combat, knows how it feels to come home. It was really comfortable being here.
They're going to come to class like normal college students, treated like normal people that know how to be like, I can be in college, I am a normal person, and I can live like everybody else lives. If even one of them chose to go to college and study art and has that artist brain to where it saved them, it's totally worth it.
Hi guys, how is everybody? I'm excited to get to work on this. We started this yesterday with the base layer of paint and some malachite stones. And today I'm going to put some details in here using some acrylic paint markers. And then we may add a couple of more layers to this as we go. But this is the base for our malachite geode painting. And I'm pretty pleased with it. There's some really nice detail in here. Let's get you guys zoomed in so you can kind of see this. So some really good detail, some glitter on top, malachite there. Different little flecks of stuff thrown in there for some dimension. And all of those fine little details that are difficult to see now, we're going to start to highlight those and make a bunch of lines in this, basically, which might take a little while. And actually, I think what I'd like to do is start up here with this corner. I'm gonna have glitter all over my studio for years. So in this corner, I want to bring in some darker colors. maybe some white. I'm not sure if I really want this light green up here, but I might pull it in. We'll see. How are y'all doing today? So I'm going to start right here in this corner, and actually, you know what? I don't have my glasses, and I'm going to need those for these details. I'm tempted to pull over this little light that I use when I'm not streaming, but I don't know how the camera will react to it. So, I've got paint all over my hands. I'm going to bring these details all the way down the sides of the canvas. Because I want this to be fairly uniform all the way around. So for some of this striping that I'm going to do, we'll get to some parts of the canvas where you will barely see what was originally there. Part of this background is a guide for me. And then part of it's actual painting, right? That you would see anyway. So we're just going to start to form some shapes. Hey OEF, how are you doing? Yeah, I can't get it far enough back on my, because this canvas is so huge, that I can zoom in and let you see these details that we're making. But I'll pick this up and let you see it here in a minute. So check this out. See all those little details, all those little stripes there going all over it? That's what we're going to do on this whole canvas, which is essentially going to change the look of the entire thing. It just won't be the same by the time we're done. That is really red looking. I don't want that much red in here. And that's a perfect silver. So this color it is. There we go. I do not know why this thing does not want to do what I want it to do. Plenty of paint in it. But it doesn't want to give me a consistent line for some reason. Well, we're getting better. There we go. Nope. I guess I can just treat it like a brush. So we're doing this geode series, starting with the malachite, which is this one, which is a green, very stripy stone. And then we're going to move on to a series of other gemstones. So by the end of this, I should have 6 of these 12 by 24 inch canvases, each one with a geode. Made in a different color, representing a different stone. And each one will have each one will have the stones in it. My little test paper is going to get pretty full, I see. I legit don't think I can see this metallic white until it dries. Which means I would have to be absolutely perfect on my stroke the first time. That's a challenging dynamic. It's like writing with invisible ink, right? I mean, I can write right here, and you can't see it. Until it dries. Well, let's just see what happens. Bad idea to lift that off the painting. You guys want to sit here and watch paint dry with me so I can make sure this is in the right place? And it actually looks silvery white. Not too pleased with that either. I really want this one to work. I 100% need this to work right, is what I need. You guys hear my cat meowing at me? Oh, there he is. Hi, Beta Cat. What's up, meow meow? Don't step on it, don't step on it. Stretch out my canvas, buddy. That's not okay. That's not okay. You can't stretch out the canvas. You gonna help me paint? You gonna help me paint, Beta Cat? I think we're going to bring in some you know what, let's test these greens. Do I have a darker green? It's a pretty silvery green. I think this one's even lighter. This is more of an olive, actually. Yeah, so I think we're gonna start to incorporate the black in this color green. So we'll bring through that bronzy gold color and white in these corners on this lime green. We'll bring through the black on these greens. And then we'll pick this pattern back up in this lime green. And we may go tone on tone for that whole one. And then obviously as we get in here, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. So yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Gonna bring this black around here like this. Bring it up this way. Give myself a little bit of distance here. No, no, no. Beta. My goodness. I swear. We're going to come up off of this point. Come around here. Come back down. Right there. Okay. Now we're going to take this darker green, because we want these lines to be fairly defined here, right? This green in my hand is just a tiny bit darker than the green paint that I used. Like just barely. And we're just going to continue to follow those lines. And we're going to try to avoid the cat doing anything crazy right now. We would like very much for this cat to just lay here, nice and quiet, and not cause any problems. But we will see how he does. Because he is not always the most cooperative. He's just purring up a storm, though. He cracks me up. Just going to go right along this black line here with this green, so we can kind of help define how this line should go. And do the same around each of them on both sides. Using kind of a back and forth movement as I do this, because I want this to be a little rough. I don't want this line perfectly straight and perfectly smooth. I want it thicker in some places and thinner in others. I don't want that black line to be perfectly smooth either, right? One of the nice things about the acrylic paint markers is that it's paint. They're fast drying. And if I draw over this green, over this black with this green, it covers, right? It's one of the reasons why I love them. It's not like using a, I don't know, a Sharpie or a regular marker. You guys start to see how this is starting to look like malachite now, how it starts to look like a geode with those lines. So this corner started out looking like this corner, right? That's what it looked like when we started. That's where we're at now. I love the fine details. Excuse me. Too red, too coppery. Too tan. Not too bad. I vote this one. So many options. So we're going to add some definition in on this space right here. I'm going to do the same thing on these where I'm going to go right along the edge of this bronze color with this kind of green gold color. Just so that we can get a little bit more depth. And it'll kind of pull these pieces together between this lime and the white and green and this glitter that you can probably hear scritching right now. Kind of like that sound. I am particularly pleased with the process that we used to get this acrylic pour with the paint and all of the extra things that we added to it. Because the adhesion is phenomenal. All the beta cats, yes, he's just laying here chilling out. I fully expected to have a studio full of glitter after we made this painting. And surprisingly, I don't. I mean, there's a little bit on the desk, but overall, it's on the painting and nowhere else, which is great. There we go. This is starting to look pretty good, guys. Pretty happy with it so far. I really like this effect right here. So I think as we go, we're gonna do some line work around here like this. And then we're gonna bring it right out here. This lime comes into this green. So I think I'm gonna follow this little line right here, all the way around. And then we're slowly gonna move to the center. He's making me nervous because I really think this cat is about to attack this pen. But he seems to be. Why are you licking me? He seems to be controlling himself at the moment, which I'm very grateful for. We're going to let that dry just a second. I guess he's just going to go to sleep. It's quiet today. This is going to be like the most relaxing stream ever for me, doing this. My little cat sleeping and purring next to me. The sound of these on canvas. And put myself to sleep. Once again, I'm going to follow these thick lines with this thinner green. So I can alter the thickness of the line so that it looks more natural. This is definitely a one of those paintings where I will see details while I'm doing it that I'm sure no one looking at this will ever see. But I'm not looking for perfection here. I'm looking for the imperfect continuation of a pattern, which is what we have when we look at real geodes, right? Yeah, I don't want it to the outside of those. I think I want those to stay as they are. I do want a drink though. Yeah, I like how this corner's coming along. You guys want to see the details? It's pretty cool, right? I like it. That's about what we started with, something very similar to that over here. It'll be a whole different painting by the time we're done. Yeah? You like it? So I think with the lime green, we're not going to be quite this bold, right? I'm going to do some tone on tone. I want to use lime green on lime green. Because I just want to give you that feel of lines, right? And this may be too perfect a color, like it's exact. Let's let this dry a second. I may have to go one tone darker. Or a tone lighter is an option. I could pull out yellows in that if I wanted to. We do have some buttercream yellow tones in here. And we've got some yellows in through here. And a little bit in the corners. So we could pull some yellows through it. It's an option. Buttercream gang. Wow. I'd forgotten about that. That's funny. I completely forgotten about that. Have you guys talked about that? And how long's that been? This is like not a year. Yeah, it's been a while, right? Oh my gosh.
Emma, Brett, would you like to go? Are you at a stopping point?
Yes. All right, I'm going to set this just like this for a second. Let that paint move down. Take a quick break and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Let's see. Oh, and I've got a hair in my eye. That's not good. I need my eyes for this. This marker. This paint marker. Oh, this is much better. Well, it was better for a second. Let's get this going. There we go. All right, let's see what we think about this coming through here. This is better. This is more what we were hoping for. Not too overt, but just that hint of line work. That's what we want. Scritch, scritch, scritch. Yeah, this is nice. Perfect. You guys can't even see it. It's there. So on this white, let's go up and finish this corner first before we continue here. And we're just going to mirror what we did over there. Then we're going to bring in this gold color that we used over there to go right along these lines. Just like this. Now on that other corner, we've got some dark green in there too. So we'll bring some of this in. And just line out this little corner of the canvas. Now we're going to come in with this bigger bold black. And then we're going to do a whole series of lines inside of this in the same green. And then just like we did on the other side, I'm going to follow right along this line. With that green. I like that it changes the shape of the line for one thing, and it's not so perfectly straight. But I also like that it kind of brings it back into the colors on the canvas. This black is very striking, mostly because there's no black paint on this canvas. And thus far, it's the only color that I've chosen to add that isn't perfectly coordinated with my paint. But I wanted some striking lines there. So I wanted to draw attention to the fact that this is a geode, right? This part is very striking. These stones here that are three-dimensional stand out a lot, and I wanted to balance these two corners with this. Because when I first painted this, it looks like it just slowly fades out. And this is not very striking. So I think this gives us a nice balance to the center. The center is going to have a lot of line work in it as well, but it won't be as defined as these. And I find in pieces like this, finding my balance is important. Let's start up here. and some more green lines. And then we'll have these corners done. There we go. What's up, Meow? What's up, Meow? What, Meow? He really wants to just be up here tonight. Pretty sure he wants treats. Because my stream here on Twitch has taught this cat that he gets treats. I mean, I realize I'm not only on Twitch right now, but I have a stream, Mrs. Zoe F5 on Twitch. And with channel points, you can feed the cat. Which he likes a lot. Getting paint on my desk. That's not good. So, bold corners are done. Love how that looks. I'm really pleased with that. I like that this one has some white detailing and this one has some black. They're a little bit different. This one's got some glitter, this one doesn't. Geodes are never consistent. Not in that way anyway. And the line work on this lime, really fine. You can barely see it. It just continues to keep things consistent, which I also like. So this metallic copper, I guess I could be putting these away where they go, because by the end of this I'll have every pen I have out at this rate, right? I want to see what this looks like on camera, and this is a good time to test it. It's not too awful distracting, is it? To have that light there? It's not bad, actually. I think I'll leave it up. So, I have two options here. I can bring this around all of these little chunky bits, right? All the way through here. Almost follow the interior of this white line. And then here I can go in the white line almost all the way around the edge. I think I'll do that. I thought this color was going to be really red, but I actually like it. It's very copper. I mean, it's supposed to be copper, but it's very orange, I guess, more than red.
Hi, stream.
There's my husband, OEF5. Say hi, guys. He's back there saying hi to you. think I'm going to go ahead and do the interior, and then we'll start to figure out the definition through the center. All right. So that defines our space. Line work is going to get pretty tight in a couple of places. So we may do just maybe 3 rows to the outside, 3 rows to the inside, and leave this gap here. As it gets tight, those will be really tight lines. And try and leave some space between here. And then they'll be pretty tight on that side. So I think we'll start them fairly close together and leave a nice gap on this side. not sure if I want to do 3 and fill that up that much. Let's do another to the exterior of this line. And see how that looks. Excuse me. I definitely like this definition of the line. On the exterior. But I'm not completely convinced I need a third one. We can always revisit that as we go through the center here and see. Because the center is going to end up with more of this color. And this corner needs some attention. Just a little. Hey Dan, how are you? So we're going to need this for the center. I don't want to forget that that's the one we're using. We're working on our geode painting. You got to see this painted, yeah? You were there, I think, for part of it at least. So these rocks here made this look like it just faded out to nothing, right? So we put some really nice line work, some nice definition going through there on both corners to give us a little bit of balance to the center, which will be really detailed. So it's starting to look like a geode. What do you think? I think I'm going to run some black line work through this white bit here. I was really debating just doing it in yellow. This whole bit right here, we're going to leave just exactly like it is. And then in through this center, we're going to do some definition too. But yeah, it's starting to look like a geode. Hard to see with the camera. Like you can barely see the yellow at all in the camera, but I can see it really, really well here. Or these coppery lines. I do think I want to pull in some more yellow though. So what are you up to today? I got my last emote in. My last one. Just watching me and Mister. Well, that's exciting. At least you can relax for a little bit. I feel like you've been so busy. You deserve a break. I can't believe that little panda heart was the first thing you did. Whose is it now? You said it was the first, right? I can't check because I'm on Restream. Shaka Panda. I had looked, but I couldn't remember whose it was. So this morning, Eagle's talking about looking to sell some of his work. And I'd asked him if he'd ever done a Captain America. So I think I'm going to find him a cap that would look good in OEF's stream room. And see if he can't make something for him. That I can buy from him. I like this yellow, but it's awful subtle. It's going to be another one that comes up tight on one side and way out on the other. More DC than Marvel. Yeah, he likes Cap. I did prefer the DC comics. But the newest Marvel movies are, they're pretty on point, I have to say. They have definitely done a good job modernizing and making them relevant to a new generation. Yeah, that was a little hard one to take. It's like Game of Thrones with George R.R. Martin killing everybody off, right? It's a little hard to take after a while. Is that scritching of this going over that glitter really loud? Because it sounds like it's loud to me. Is it? It seems like it's really loud. I'm sorry. It's not like I can go lighter with the pins either because I have to get this coverage. It's a necessary sound, yes. I've been trying to put my hand like over the mic so that you don't hear it as much, which probably makes me look really awkward. All right. It doesn't look comfortable. Yeah. It's really loud to me, so I know it's got to be loud at you, or loud to you. But you're right, it's not comfortable at all. Like, I'm legit putting my arm to sleep. But I need these colors that we've put on the rest of this to carry through to this heart of this geode. So here we are. Otherwise it's inconsistent. And if it's inconsistent, there was no point in doing this in the first place. Yes, you can. Then you can't hear me mumble to myself, which is probably the least entertaining part of this whole thing. All right. Let me shut that off so my camera can adjust. Man, that's shiny. It's so shiny. I mumble constantly when I'm working. Yeah, so let's take a look at some of these details. So still debating about this white bit right here. Put some yellow in there. There's a little yellow line work that you can barely see. Still debating if I like that or not. Overall, I'm not sure that it needs much more, honestly. Hard to see all these fine lines in here. Yeah, just like the one behind me. From here with the naked eye, I can see every detail in that painting, but you can't see it in the camera at all. And it's the same way with this one. When this is hanging on the wall, you'll be able to see all of these lines, but the camera just won't pick them up. It's one of the reasons why a geode painting wasn't the first thing I did, because I debated doing them at all, and then everybody kept asking for them. Why I never put it in the ideas channel on Discord, I have no idea. But I didn't. This looks so dark. Like, it really looks like it's dark in here. Gotta figure out how to fix this. But I like it. It's the time of day in this season. I have, we live in an old house and I have full grown trees all the way around this room. And so this time of day, the sun is setting over there. It's behind trees, and then I have my trees here. So it's daylight outside right now, but it looks like nighttime in here. And this camera can see how bright it is in the room, but it's darkening everything because it's like it's too light. Like it's just a weird time of day. It's great through the winter streaming. It was great. Early spring, it was great. And now that the sun is in this particular place at this time, it's weird. And I can't fix the sun. So, you know, only so much I can do there. But yeah, I think this is done. So what was the request for the next one? Amethyst? We'll start on an amethyst one next Wednesday. These are going to be really cool looking up on the wall. Like, I think it would be really cool to have 6 of them in a line on the wall. Yeah, exactly, Dan. It's an issue. And right now, that's now, right? So it's about 6 p.m. my time. Like 30 minutes from now, it's perfect, right? And 30 minutes ago, it wasn't a problem. That's why I pulled out this little light, this little work light that I have. That's why I pulled it out. I was like, I need more light. So it worked great. I was curious as to what it would look like on camera, but it's not too bad, I guess. I use this thing constantly. It's just a little LED lamp, right? But what's really cool is that it has a clamp. So it sits in this, and this base is pretty heavy. But it clamps onto this base, but I can clamp it onto my desk or whatever, and then it moves, you know, a million different ways. And it's a touch light. And it has 3 different settings. I freaking love it. Because I can work it to do all kinds of different things. Like, I seriously considered for a minute clamping it onto the arm that my overhead camera's on and putting a light behind this camera to get it to stop darkening this room. Yeah. Yeah, I had a little articulating arm desk lamp that was just like this with a regular light bulb. But I bought this for, I don't know, next to nothing. And the clamp and the base is what I love. Like, that's the best thing ever. Because I can clamp it onto my magnifying glass that I use when I'm doing wood burning. And then it's completely out of the way and I don't have to worry about its cord getting burnt. Stuff like that, like it's much safer for me to use. I don't know, you know, once I finish these, maybe maybe we should take that down and have a little auction. Somebody can buy my studio paintings and we'll put up these 6 geode paintings behind me. Have different art in my studio for a while, although I do love that, and I made it specifically for this. I made that for a reason and I really like it. Like, I specifically made it for the background of me streaming. Yeah, I had never considered rotating it out, like when I made all this stuff. Because I mean, we had the opportunity to, you know, create this whole studio from scratch because we gutted the room. So I got to make this whole big plan, right? And it didn't occur to me that, like, this might be a successful venture and I might really, really enjoy it and want to continue long term. Like, none of those things occurred to me as a possibility. So do I just leave it the same forever? Do I change it up? I mean, I feel like everything else has changed lately, right? Yeah, that's an option too, right? I don't know, it's something to think about. I mean, I like the look of the studio. I'm comfortable here and it makes me happy, and that's important. It's my happy spot, right? But I wouldn't mind having some color behind me. I don't know. I don't know, I'll think about it. We'll see. Somebody asked me about putting stuff on eBay instead of Etsy too, speaking of auctions. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to start all that. It's a lot of work. This almost looks like a heart. True, right? Make things you love. That is true. All right. making stuff that appeals to you, right? And nobody else sometimes. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap up CreatiVets since I'm only supposed to be on here until 6. I'm debating as to whether or not I should pop onto my own channel. I'm going to grab a bite to eat and think about it. Oh, all right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Dan. Appreciate you. We will probably be working on geode paintings next week too on this channel, which is fun, right? I can go Torment Outlaw. That's always good. All right, so I will see you guys next Thursday, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Or you can catch me around Twitch as Mrs. OEF5. So thank you so much, and we'll see ya.
We are a nonprofit that is helping combat disabled veterans heal through the arts and music. Our art programs in Chicago and California help combat disabled veterans tell their story through art. We enroll them into the best art institutes in the country. We pay for their tuition, their housing, their food all 3 weeks so that they can finally tell their story through art. We also bring combat disabled veterans to Nashville, to places and rooms like this here at the Grand Ole Opry, to tell their story for the first time with pro songwriters all about the things that they went through that they've never been able to talk about before. These programs have been extremely successful in helping veterans combat their PTSD. Right now, CreatiVets has more veterans applying for our programs than we do funding. So if you can go to creativets.org and donate, we would appreciate it.